Hi folks, and welcome back to my channel. You're seeing a sneaky peek of the end look. This is to replace the live today, which I will be taking down. We had various technical glitches and in the end I had to abandon it. So there's very minimal editing on this. You won't see me fast forwarding through putting certain things on or blending my eyeshadow, because I just wanted to get it out for those of you that are waiting to see me live. Okay, so this is the next best thing, but obviously I'm not able to chat to you all. But that's the explanation. So it's going to be a bit longer and not as edited as my normal non-lives, as a replacement to my live today and my get ready with me. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this, and sorry again for all the technical glitches, and hopefully I'll be able to put them right soon. All right, enjoy the video. Okay, everyone, I had to abandon the live because of lousy Wi-Fi and using my laptop and everything else. And the hangout was only to a few people, and of course it was tricky because they were doing things in the background. My Wi-Fi was still terrible. So I'm here. I'm going to do this video and I'm going to just download it as if it was alive. Okay. Now I've just been trying out this Oxygenatics foundation and it's very good. You've got a sample card to try out your colours, but they don't give you enough to find out whether or not it's something you want to buy. And I just think that's a rip-off for £10. So I just didn't get an idea at all. And I think they should have yeah, sorry, somebody's just joined my hangout now to see me. And I'm just going to pause this and send them a message because I'm not live, and I'll be right back. Right, let's get on. So I've given up with that foundation. Absolute rip-off. They don't give you enough to find out whether it's something you really want to use. I would say it's medium coverage, but there's not enough for you to decide whether it is actually worth you buying. So I've just gone in with my Magic foundation in shade 6.75. And I'm putting that on with a wet sponge. And then I'm going to show you the palette that I've chosen for today. I fancied purple today and I couldn't decide between Glamour Muse and or this one. Now this is a palette that I made up myself, and I'm still getting messages on the hangout. Oh, right, hopefully somebody will let Leslie know that I am no longer live. I've left a message on there. Sorry, Leslie, for the confusion. I've left a message on there to say I'm no longer live. I'm just doing this and then I'm going to upload it afterwards. I'm really sorry that I'm not able to talk to you guys because I love the interaction, but there's just too much getting in the way of doing it at the moment. So I will try and see if I can sort out my Wi-Fi by Wednesday. But we'll just get on for now and I'll do this as though I'm doing it live. So that is my foundation, Magic, and I'm going to put Magic Away concealer on, and I will use shade 5 under my eyes, which are looking very dark at the moment. I've had very restless sleep the last couple of nights. Why? Well, one thing is that you stay up really late, and by the time you go to bed, I am past...
Demonetized.
What? What are you talking about?
Demonetized.
I'm not monetized anyway.
You're still demonetized.
I don't know what he's talking about. I've never been monetized. So how can I be demonetized?
You're still gonna be demonetized.
Okay.
Even though you're not monetized.
Well, you can't be D something if you haven't been monetized.
You can't be D-sleep.
You can't be D sleeped if I've never slept. Right, and then I'm putting...
Oh my gosh, that just makes it sound like I'm an evil devil.
No, you're just full of energy and beans. Which is how you should be at your age. You know what I mean. Right, and then I'm going to put on... I went to put on 6. But for the rest of my face, I put on shade 7. Which is a good match. So when you're buying Magic Away Magic Away concealer, you can see this is 6.75, this foundation. But if I use shade 6 Magic Away, it's light under my eyes, but it's too light to use the rest of my face. So you generally need to go a shade up if you're using it on your face. So this is shade 7. If that makes sense. So shade 6 or 5 under my eyes, and depending on how brightening you want it, and then a shade up from your foundation shade. For the rest of your face. You can see that matches very well to the shade 6.75 foundation. That might differ slightly with other colours. Right, I'm now relaxing into doing makeup rather than sorting out technology. Now this is, I know I haven't done my powder yet, but I'm going to show you. So this is a MAC purple palette that I made up myself. So I bought the single palettes and the empty palette to put it in. And then with a, I've got a Dymo machine, a label machine. I then put the shade names on the front so that I made up my own palette. It's a great thing to do because then whatever shades you've got are shades that you use. And I just felt in the mood for MAC today. And before I use that, I'm going to use this base, which is a paint pot from MAC called Stormy Pink, which is a lovely lilac shade and makes a beautiful base for those colours. So I'm just going to put some powder on and then we'll get on with the eyes. So I'm going to put shade 2 on my face and shade 1, which hopefully you'll be able to see, Shoshana, a little bit better now on here. Here is shade 1, and I'll just show you that. So it's a pink undertone, and then here is shade 2, which you've probably got, which is more of a yellow undertone. It actually doesn't look that different when you finger swatch them. Let's try that again. I'm going to put shade 1 on this finger so I don't confuse myself, which is very easy to do. Hang on. So that's shade 1. And then this is shade 2. So it's got a little bit more of a yellow undertone. Okay. But shade 1 is very good for doing it under your eyes with. So I'm just going to set that concealer. And a little bit down the centre of my face. I now want to get shade 1 Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, which I may get next week when I go to the shop. Because if anything, when I'm out and about, the place that I would want to powder would be under my eyes. I generally have concealer with me for when my eyes water. And I use the Airbrush shade 2 when I'm out and about. But I'm wondering whether to get shade 1. So I'm just using shade 1 under my eyes, dabbing that, and I can speed through this so that I can get it out to you as soon as possible. So apologies if you've been trying to join me live today. It just wasn't happening. the laptop kept cutting out, and then I went onto the Hangout, and the Hangout kept cutting out as well. And of course,
So
it kind of, yeah.
way to do it.
So this is the only way to do it at the moment, I'm afraid.
It was the only
But
way.
I've got a tech expert friend who I will contact and see if he can come up with any other ideas other than changing my provider, which I don't want to do because I'm about to move. Right, and now I'm going to put shade 2. Just dot that around the rest of my face. Like so. Just put a bit more of that over my lids so they don't look, I won't do it underneath. Okay, so that is my base done. And now I'm going to get to the eyes. The bit I'm looking forward to, because I haven't used this for a while, but I'm really looking forward to using it. So first of all, I'm going to put on this MAC paint pot in Stormy Pink, which is lovely on its own actually. It just really looks beautiful on its own, but it works really well as a primer. And the thing is, when I'm using bluey purples, cool purples, I like to have a base colour that's going to accentuate it, because sometimes when I put purples on, the kind of yellow undertone, the warm undertone, adjusts the colour. So this, as I've talked about before, helps it to remain true. But I think you'll see when I close my eyes that this on its own is a beautiful colour. I mean, I could quite easily go out with just that. And I'm going to put a little bit under my eyes. And I'll use my Daniel smudge brush, because I promised that I was going to show you that. So where's my Daniel smudge brush? That's my Daniel concealer brush. Where is my Daniel smudge brush? It's not my day today, is it? Come on, Mr. Daniel smudge brush. Where are you? There you are. This is a really good smudge brush. It just gets in there really well, especially for creams like this. Now, purpley shades like this are going to work with every colour eye, because purple contrasts with brown, green and blue. So it's going to work well on every eye colour. So if in doubt, use purple. Okay, so I've got that now as my base. Make sure that's all blended in. And then I'm going to go in with my palette. So I've got 4 shades here. I have Sweet Lust, Beautiful Iris, Parfait Amour, and Indian Ink, which is a really deep matte purple. Really good for tucking in the corner. And I've got my MAC brushes. So, she says, except I haven't, because I cleaned my MAC brushes, so they should be in here. Yes. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to go in with Sweet Lust and just dust that over the entire lid. So this is a shimmery shade, but it's not too shimmery. And then I might press some in later to bring out the pink in that. I'll swatch these shades on their own if you want, just for a second, so that you can see what they look like. So this is Sweet Lust. I've got all sorts of other things now on my hands. Sweet Lust. And then Beautiful Iris. And that's kind of, I didn't put down the types. It's got a kind of sheen to it, but it's not got a shimmer to it. So it's sort of, when you turn, it looks a little bit pink. Can you see that? But it's not got a shimmer to it. And then this one's got more of a shimmer to it. And then Parfait Amour, which has got, again, a bit of a sheen rather than a shimmer. And it kind of reflects pink, like this one. It's a darker version of that one, really. And then Indian Ink, which is really good for lining the eyes, and it's almost a black and purple. Okay, so those are the 4 shades. Right, now I'm going to put some of this Beautiful Iris, and I'm going to work that over the lid and into the crease. I'm going to treat this like one of Charlotte's enhanced shades. And I'm using my MAC 217 brush, which is one of my favourite blending brushes. Like so. And then I'm going to put a bit of that this side as well, because I'm going to go back with that pink later and highlight the centre of my lids. And then actually I'm going to take that a little bit higher up. So I'm just gone back in with the Beautiful Iris, taking it a little bit higher up so I can kind of use it as a bit of a transition. And then I'm going to go in with Parfait Amour, and I'm going to get that into the crease a bit more, because this is a darker version of that one that I've just used. And then finally, I'm going to take a MAC pencil brush. Actually, no, I'll use Daniel's smudge one. And I'm going to take the Indian Ink, and I'm going to pat that into the corner here. Because I really want to build it up in the corner. So this has got a flat edge to it as well, so it's good for pressing shadows into that corner. And I'll just get my shape going. And I think what I might do is wet this to use as a liner with my new Charlotte Tilbury liner brush. So I'll just do both sides first. And then take some of that underneath with the edge of the brush. That's what I mean, you can use the edge or you can use the flat edge. And then I'm going to take back my blending brush and just blend that in. There we go. And then I'm going to, with the smudge brush, I'm just going to clean it off on my hand. I'm just going to take that pink and just put it under my brow. I'm actually going to put a bit more than I would normally, because I want it to link up between where the purple ends and where the brow highlight begins. Like so, and then I just get a little bit more of that lighter one, which is Beautiful Iris, and just lightly sweep it up there to blend the two together. You could actually use a transition shade, like a very light taupey brown, if you wanted to here. Now I'm going to wet my brush, and I'm going to use another brush. This one, I don't know what this is called. The Sigma E55 brush, which is a flat shadow brush. So it's like a bigger version of Daniel's smudge brush. I'm just going to wet that. I'm going to put the Sweet Lust, which is the pinky shimmery shade, and I'm going to wet it and put it on the centre of my lid. Now it's still going to look a bit purpley because it's got purple underneath it. Well, I'm just packing it on. I might pick some up with my fingers as well, just to press that in. Yeah. I'm going to have to blend it in around the sides in a second. Let's go in with the other eye. Spray the brush, pack it on, and then take a little bit with my fingers, pack a bit more on while it's wet. And then I'm just going to go around the edges, just blend that in with my fingers. So there's no harsh lines. And then I'm going to take Charlotte's liner brush. And where's her liner brush? And I'm going to wet the brush and use Indian ink, which is the darkest purple in here, to line my eyes with. And I do love this brush. It's really good. And I don't know when she brought it out because it missed me. It must have missed me. So I'm just putting plenty onto the brush, and I'm now going to wet it. And then use that. Now that the brush is wet, I'm going to pick up some more. That's better. Wet the brush again. Sometimes I often find that the brush is too wet, and then I have to go back in. Although that worked quite well that time. You have to go back in and get some more powder on the damp brush. I think this is a beautiful shade for lining your eyes. And just saw a message from Terry saying, sorry, I missed the live. Terry, you haven't missed anything. This is the live today. It's not live. And then just smudge out a bit at the sides. And then I want to go in for plenty of black liner in my waterline and some mascara. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Before I put my, so I've waterlined my upper waterline, but before I put on my mascara, I'm going to put on blue on the lower waterline. And I love doing this when I'm wearing purple eyeshadow. And the best electric blue eyeliner I have found, and I've tried Urban Decay, I've tried all sorts of different ones, is by L'Oreal, and it's called Infallible. And this is called I've Got the Blue, and I have not found any better. It is really vibrant and lovely. So I'm going to put that onto here, and I think you'll see it really makes brown eyes pop. And then I'll just use I use Charlotte's eyeliner brush to just smudge a little bit of that Indian ink purple underneath. Just blend it in with that blue. So it doesn't look as stark. See how I'm pushing up some of that liner? So I'm not adding it to the flick. I'm just pushing some of it up there. And now I'm going to do the mascara. And I'm going to use, because I want my eyelashes to be dark and thick, Paradise Primer, which is brilliant. And then I'm going to mix my favourite Upward Lash and some YSL curling mascara, and I'll be right back. So I'm back, and I did decide to keep it black underneath here because otherwise I was going to put blue mascara on, but actually I think the black works better, because otherwise if I put on the blue it would have hidden all that purple underneath, and I wanted to be able to see the purple as well as the blue. So I'm just putting on some of Charlotte's Film Star bronze from her Bronze and Glow, like so. Just using that as a kind of semi-contour, and I don't want to go too mad on my cheeks, because I think it always looks a bit too much if you've got a cool purple on your eyes and then pink on your cheeks. So I'm going to put First Love blush on, which is one of my favourite Charlotte Tilbury blushes. It suddenly started to get very crumbly, so a lot went on the brush then. But it's peach rather than cool toned like the eyes, so I just have to dab some of that off. It suddenly got crumbly. This is the one that I repaired, and it's starting to dry out a bit now because I had to repair it. I'm trying to get some of that from around the edge, especially this side, to kind of cool it down a bit. I'll have to put a bit more there to balance it out. That's fine. And then I'm going to use some of the Beauty Light wand, and I'll mix it with some of Daniel Sadler's watercolour blush. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just mixed some of the Beauty Light wand and Grace, and I'm going to mix that together on my hand so that it becomes a bit peachier, a bit more of a peachier highlight, like so. Give it a thorough mix in, and then I'm going to put that up here. First Love is not normally that pigmented, guys. It's just because it started to crumble and I didn't realise that I'd picked up a lot on the brush. And then I'll use a little bit of that in here and in here. So it really contrasts with the cool tone of the eyeshadow. And then I can go for peachy pink or pink. And I have an idea what I'm going to go for. Okay, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, first of all, I'm going in with Pillow Talk. And then I'm going to go in with Confession, which is one of my favourites, nudes. And then I'm going to just take what I've got left on my hand and dab a little bit in the centre. And a little bit over the Cupid's bow, just to make my lips look a bit fuller. And a little bit in here. This is where I do my final touches. And also this will bring everything together. Tiny bit in the centre. This is it's a lot warmer, so I'm not putting too much, just a mere smidgen, and blending it in. Just to bring it together with the peachier tones on my face. And then a little bit down the centre of my nose. Just to give me that bit of a glow. And then a little spray with my MAC. And I'm done. That's me done. I'm really, really, really sorry, guys, about today and the lives. I will try and make this better, sort things out this end. But thank you for those of you that did join me. And I'll get this quickly uploaded, edited and uploaded. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Take care. See you very soon. Bye-bye.